Hello, tech professionals. Welcome back to another series of using the Amazon leadership principles to help you prepare for your job interviews with technology companies with Think Big and Dive Deep. If you missed my recent LinkedIn broadcast on how to answer behavioral questions with customer obsession, how to create strong storytelling by demonstrating full ownership, and how you deliver results along with bias for action interview questions, be sure to check out my Amazon Leadership Principle playlist, and I'll leave everything we talked about along with the resources in the description below. For meeting for the first time, my name is Holly. I'm an ex-Amazon recruiting leader and the founder of the Career Accelerator Masterclass, where I helped my clients define their vision, their core values, and purpose into finding the right career for them. The primary reason for my weekly live broadcast is to provide my best strategies and tips to help you be 100% prepared for your interview. As mentioned, our attention span is 6 to 10 seconds. That being said, you have no more than 1 minute to make a good impression for the recruiters and interviewers. It's really important. Don't forget about the recruiters. Everything I shared on my video are information that you can find on our friendly World Wide Web and also based on my personal experience having worked for Google, Amazon, and startups. Please don't think that the Leadership Principles series are just for Amazon, all right? If you follow my strategies and do all the recommended exercise, you will show up to your interview with confidence. Keep in mind, professionals, in most companies, recruiters do have a say in hiring decisions and their feedback on you because they have that relationship with you. Check out my video on how to get a recruiter to call you, and I'll leave the direct link up here. Let's get started. I chose to talk about Think Big and Dive Deep as there are a lot of similarities to tackle your answers around multiple leadership principles. Let's take a look by definition from Amazon what the two leadership principles stand for. First, let's talk about Think Big. Thinking small is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Leaders create and communicate a bold direction that inspires results. They think differently for ways to serve their customers. Let me explain the definition of Think Big as you're creating your stories with at least 2 to 3 examples for this. Can you share a time where you went above and beyond to deliver for the customers? Sound familiar, right? Bias for action, that's right. Now, here's a bonus tip. As you are creating an example for your stories, keep in mind the key leadership principle in mind, as we mentioned the top 6 just a little bit ago. If you have followed me on my YouTube channel and have watched my weekly broadcast, you will know, and fair warning, I'll be talking about Glassdoor and the STAR methods because everything in helping you answer your behavioral questions is based around the STAR method. The interview strategies playlist also where I will walk you through on pulling up questions and answer in Glassdoor with different position titles in mind and different companies as well. It will guide you in doing the research. If you're interested to work with me, send me a message and I'll be sure to keep you updated in the upcoming course. Here are my 2 favorite questions around Think Big. Tell me a time where you took the initiative or goal by solving a challenging project. What is the risk? And how did you decide what to do? And what was the outcome? Let's move on to Dive Deep. Here's how Amazon defines this leadership principles. Leaders operate at all levels. They stay connected to the details, audit frequently, and are skeptical when metrics differ because they stay on top of the data and will question when things don't make sense. Dive Deep resonates most with customer obsessions, Think Big, and Bias for Action. If you check out those videos, you'll know exactly what I refer to. You can see that a lot of the leadership principles are stacking on top of one another with a lot of similarities. Okay? The bottom line is, professionals, think outside of the box, unconventional way in how you always think on behalf of the customers or the end users that differentiate you from others. Once you have identified what the problem is, create a plan to solve it. I have shared an article by Dave Anderson, a GM, which also a hiring leader at Amazon, back in last October. I'll leave the post to his LinkedIn article in my description afterwards. You should definitely check that out. Here's Dave's take on Dive Deep. Trust yet verified is a favorite phrase at Amazon. We care deeply that leaders keep a careful eye on what they own and know ways to audit their space. If interested, to dive in and figure out what's going on. I love it when I ask questions of people and they go 4 or 5 levels deep and keep getting more excited because the details are actually interesting to them. So that's what you have to keep in mind, professionals, as you're answering the questions in front of the interviewers. You have to also show some type of excitement that you care about the problems that you're solving. All right? Give me a thumbs up if this makes sense to you and leave me a comment. I'll get back to you guys. Let's talk about using the STAR methods to help you tackle all of this behavioral questions, Amazon or not. Okay. Keep in mind, it doesn't matter what role you're interviewing for, what industry you're in, or what behavioral questions for that matter. The STAR method really structured to help you answer or ace behavioral questions to get the job that you want by identifying situation, what is the content of the story that you're trying to share with the interviewer, okay? And T stands for task. Task is really creating what needs to be done to solve the problem. So what is the problem? And then, of course, action. How do you create an action plan around the issues that you have identified? And lastly, the results. How do you achieve those results? The how is really big in the STAR method, okay? So you're really looking at the what, the how, and what is the end result to get there, and what is your contribution in getting there. All right. Many of you have reached out to me and asked me questions relating around not being able to find interview questions or answer. Let's just say use program manager for an example. It really doesn't matter what position. Before doing so, I would highly encourage you, as I'm showing up here every week to run a LinkedIn broadcast for you guys, because I've been listening and I know the messages that you're reaching out to me, that you're stuck, you don't know when to start, you don't know where to even look on Glassdoor, you don't know how to find companies' interview questions, you don't know how to do a deep dive on researching the role that you're interviewing for. I've talked about pulling up the job description. How do you do that on Glassdoor? I walk you through tutorial on program managers, technical program managers, product managers, software engineers, mobile engineers for that matter. And you can find all of that under my interview strategies playlist, as well as the Amazon leadership principle. Now, prior to looking into my interview playlist or tutorial, I would highly advise that you ask yourself these questions. Number one, if I were to ask you to tell me about yourself, what do you want to do? And if your answer is longer than 1 minute, most likely you don't know what you want to do next. So I repeat myself, before you even looked at any of my interview playlists, which there's only 2 that I just mentioned, check out the Power of LinkedIn playlist. There should be a couple videos to help you create the credential. Interested to get more of a dive deep coaching session with me in my course, reach out to me and I will add you to my email list. The next class will start end of March. The only thing I'm asking for you guys is do the work and don't skip any of my tutorial. It's like going to school or tackling a project at work. Think of it that way. Okay. How do you fulfill a project? You have to listen to what the project is, right? And then you have to plant the seeds in executing it. So you can't just start a video and go to the end or skip the middle and go to the mid part of it. You have to do it all. And the one thing that I can ask for all of you that's watching, do yourself a big favor and put yourself number 1. I've said this in several of the 20-something videos that I put out. You have to do that. It's very heartening for me to read some of these messages and worked with some of the clients, the ones that actually listen to everything that I've instructed them to be. I'm here to help you. I just need you to help me help you. Again, thank you so much for spending your time with me. Give me a like, thumbs up if you like my content. Share with those who can also benefit from it. I will see you all next week. Goodbye.